This module is composed of 3 units. Each are to be discussed by the assigned reporters. You are required to listen, note important details and understand the topics. At the end of the discussion, there will be an activity. You have to do your best to answer the questions. If you refuse to, you will be eliminated. With that, let the discussion begin.
What is marketing? Probably the common terms that comes to our mind when we are asked about what is marketing is that marketing is advertising, selling, and promotions. But advertising, selling, and promotions are part of marketing. Marketing includes public relations, which marketers often reacts and communicates to customers to satisfy or to supply the needs of their consumers. Advertising, or the way of introducing their products using any communicating platforms to encourage more customers. Sales, promotions, which are ways of boosting their products' sales by selling it directly or introduce it directly to the consumers with the benefits of more to its actual price of the product. And pricing, in which marketers create a value of their products or service according to the benefits of it to the customers, and other related aspects of marketing. The specific role of marketing is to provide assistance in identifying, satisfying, and retaining customers. The role of marketing plays important role in the business in order for them to create a competitive advantage. To understand more about marketing, let's go further to Unit 1, which is core marketing concepts. Marketing contributes to the ability of a business to succeed. Like what I have said earlier, marketing can help to create a competitive advantage, which can lead to retain its customers. The very existence of business depends upon the successful products and services, which in turn rely on successful marketing. That means if marketing is actively working in a business, it may prevent the company to any problems such as losses and crisis when they operates. According to the definition, marketing is a process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotions, and distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create exchange that satisfy individual or customers and organizational objectives. In order for the business to create a competitive advantage, marketers must understand the characteristics of a good marketing organizations, also known as the C's of marketing. This includes consumer content, company capability, communication, cross-functional contact, competition, and community contact. Consumer content. In consumer content, the existence of any organization becomes possible if there are significant number of people who need the products or services offered by the organizations, which means that the business can exist only if they can keep the significant numbers of consumers. So, how can an organization keep the number of their consumers? Organization can keep the number of consumers by considering the consumers' wants and needs. Basically, if we talk about human needs, these are the things that people or a single person need to be able to live. For example, if the person is thirsty, he or she needs water. But if we talk about wants, these are the things that people needed, but with the desire. For example, if the person is thirsty, instead of drinking water, he or she choose to drink soft drinks which he or she wants to drink. 3 ways to keep significant numbers of consumers. First, continuously collect information about consumers' needs and competitors' capabilities. Second is share the information across the departments and use the information to create a competitive advantage by increasing the value for customers. So that is a good marketing. The main point of consumer content is in order for the marketers to keep the numbers of consumers, they have to consider what consumers' wants and needs for the products or service they offer to the customers. Company capabilities. In company capabilities, marketing organizations objectively compare their existing capabilities with their ability to meet consumer needs now and in the future. In order for the company or marketers to satisfy their consumers, it must be first assess their capability on what the organization can do to create a product or services that is needed by consumers. Thus, organization starts to ask, do we have a technical know-how to produce a competitive product? Do we have a plant capacity? Do we have the necessary capital? Do we have the good management? Or do we have a good top management? To these questions may create an obstacles during the production. Conversely, a strong advantage in cost control or a dynamic leadership may provide the company with a competitive marketing advantage that has little to do with marketing but everything to do with the business succeeding. The main point of company capability is determining the capability of organization whether they could satisfy or not the needs and wants of the consumers. Communication. In communication, marketers know that consumers are constantly picking up cues put out by the organizations or about the organizations that they use to form attitudes and beliefs about the organizations. So where these consumers find cues about the products or services. Messages cues are seen from product design, product quality, price, packaging, outlet selection, advertising, and the availability of coupons. The main point of communication is securing a frequent or a direct contact with the consumers. Impress consumers through direct communication with them through the help of message cues. Competition. In competition, marketing companies must truly understand their competitors' strengths and weaknesses, which means there are no marketers with no competitors in the market, or also known as monopoly. Therefore, marketer must consider their competitors' strengths and weaknesses in order for marketers to create each product that makes a more advantage than others. Then the question is, how a marketers create such product that can compete to others? Marketers can create such product by gather as much as information about competitors through any means possible. And formulate advancement to your product that will help absolve the competitors. The main point of competition is understanding the competitors in order to provide advancement of your products or services. Cross-functional contact. True marketers know how that they cannot be any better than their weakest link. In cross-functional contact, marketers should consider any weaknesses that its segmented areas have to create a better product or services they offer to the customers. Marketing is far more likely to be successful if its staff relate intelligently and honestly with members of the functional areas. In some organizations, parochialism is tearing them down. Having a self-centered view or an attitude of not appreciating others' idea are harmful to the business. The main point of cross-functional contact is unity or cooperation among all functions in the organizations. All departments of organization must acknowledge to do their functions. Community contact. In community contact, community here is refers to the environment in which marketer operates. So, in marketing environment, some organizations create an intelligence group, for an instance, to snoop their rivals. Either it is a small or a large group of organizations. Regardless of the scope of the marketer's community, maintaining contact with it is essential. So that's all for core marketing concepts. Hope you learn something from me.
The mechanics of the game is very easy. I will be spinning a spinning wheel. Each players are assigned with their chosen numbers and the lucky one that will be chosen by my spinning wheel will answer my questions. If you listen to the report, you are safe. If you don't, good luck. Are you ready? Let the game begin.
Green light, red light, green light, red light. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. Green light, red light, green light. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. Green light, red light, green light.
Thank you for playing with us, JC, Rochelle and Hazel. Let us now proceed to Unit 2.
In Unit 2, it's all about market structure, function, and types of the market. So what is a market? In defining a market, it can be viewed or explained from many different perspectives. But accordingly, a basic definition of a market It is a group of potential buyers with needs and wants and the purchasing power to satisfy them. In other words, market have this characteristic that can satisfy their consumers by providing their needs and wants. Market can be also a people, place, and economic entity. So market is a people because without the existence of people to buy and consume the products or foods, services, and ideas, there would be little reason for marketing. Aside from this, people constitute markets only if they have overt or latent wants and needs. Ibig sabihin, ang market can be a people dahil yung mga tao ay silang bumibili at nagko-consume ng mga products na nasa market. And without their existence, there would be little reason for marketing. However, people must meet the 5 certain basic criteria for them to be considered as the market. The first criteria is there must be a true demand and or want for the product, service, or idea. This need may be recognized, unrecognized, or latent. So, kailangan yung mga people must have true, exact want of a product, service, or idea. The second criteria is the person or organization must have the ability to pay for the product via means acceptable to the marketer. So, kailangan ng mga person daw at organization have the ability to pay for the product in a way that acceptable to the marketer or to the one that promote or sell a product or service. The third criteria is the person or organization must be willing to buy the product. Kailangan yung person at saka organization must be willing or bukas sa loob nila or gusto talaga nila bilhin yung product. The fourth criteria is the person or organization must have the authority to buy the product. It means a person or organization must have the power or right to buy the product. The last criteria is the total number of people, organizations meeting the previous criteria must be large enough to be profitable for the marketer. Dapat yung total number ng people or organization must be large enough compared to the previous number of people or organization who meet the previous criteria so that it will be more profitable for the marketer. It is necessary that these following criteria must be met by a group of people or organizations because failure to achieve even one of the criteria may negate or it may reject or deny the success of a market. So, market is a place. The marketplace is a common practice of the general public. The place or the location's description of a market is important too. So the products or goods were also delivered to different locations and places. Thus, market can also be a place. In addition, customers attracted toward particular places where transactions are made. Economic entity characterized by a dynamic system of economic forces. Almost any type of organization or unit in society can be economic entity. Like for example, our hospitals, companies, municipalities, and federal agencies. The four salient economic forces includes the supply, demand, competition, and government intervention. There are 4 different types of marketers. So these are the consumer markets, industrial markets, institutional markets, and the reseller markets. In consumer markets, individuals and households who buy and consume goods and services for their own personal use. They are not interested in reselling the product or goods that they buy, and they not setting themselves up as a manufacturer. So in consumer market, sila yung mga consumers na bumibili ng mga products or goods for their own personal use only. The second type is industrial market. So in industrial markets, it consists of organizations and the people who work for them. Those who buy products or services for use in their own businesses or to make other products. For example, a steel mill might purchase computer software, pencils, and flooring as part of the operation and maintenance of their business. So, sa industrial markets, bumibili sila ng mga products na gagamitin nila para sa kanilang sariling businesses or para gumawa sila ng ibang produkto. So, there is a substantial evidence that industrial markets function is different from what consumer markets do, particularly in buying processes. So, yung functions daw ng industrial markets is different siya from what consumer markets do, particularly sa buying processes. So, yun na yung minention ko kanina na sa consumer market, individuals buy and consume products for their own personal use, not interested in reselling products and not setting themselves as a manufacturer. While sa industrial markets naman, yung buying processes nila is they buy products or services para gagamitin nila sa kanilang sariling business or para gumawa sila ng ibang mga produkto. So, yun yung differences ng consumer markets and industrial markets, particularly sa buying processes nila. So, the third type is yung institutional market. So, another important market or is made up of various types of profit and non-profit institutions. So, ano-ano ang mga institutions na ito? So, these are the hospitals, schools, churches, and government agencies. This market is different from typical businesses who motivated to earn a big profits or to have a market share. Instead, itong institutional markets, kung magkano lang yung profit na ma-earn nila after all expenses they give, they are normally put it back into the institution. Kasi nga, yung institutions operate under different restriction and employ different goals. The fourth type is yung reseller market. Sa reseller markets naman, all intermediaries that buy finished or semi-finished products and resell them for profit are part of the reseller market. Resellers operate under unique business characteristics. So, when we say reseller, ito naman yung bumibili ng mga finished or semi-finished products tapos ibebenta nila sa iba para magkaroon ng mas mataas na kita or profit. The following types of a market is necessary to distinguish or to know as much as possible about how these types of market differ from each other. As much as possible, malaman natin yung differences ng types of market from each other para makapag-develop ng maayos na marketing activities. So, that's all.
Are you ready? Let the game begin.
Green light, red light, green light, red light. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. Green light, red light, green light. 무궁화
Thank you for playing with us, Adriel, Lorraine, and Nahab. Let us now proceed to the last unit, Unit 3.
Hi, welcome to Unit 3. Here, we will be talking about marketing margin. So first, let's define marketing. In Unit 1, marketing has already been defined as the process of planning and executing ideas and ways from the production or creation of the products or services to introducing it or advertising it to the public up to the product reaches the consumer's hand. So that is what marketing is. It does not only limit on advertising or promoting, but it includes the whole process from the creation of the products until it reaches to the consumers. Now, what is margin? So logically, margin is defined as the difference between the two values or the sum of the money. In agriculture, marketing margin refers to the price charged for one or a collection of products. Why is there a need to put or to set a price charge in a certain products? Kasi nga, di pa, in business world, say for instance, sa agriculture, yung mga nagbi-business, for example, ng mga crops, of course, or anything, or any business, of course, they invest money to that business. They spend money to be able to grow their crops, to be able to create their products. So, para mabawi nila yung cost or yung expenses or yung capital na binigay nila for that product, of course, doon nila binabawi sa price charge na pinapatong nila in every product that they make. To simply understand marketing margin, we can say or we can simply say that this is the price paid by the consumers and obtained by the producers. So parang profit or kita yon for the company or for the producers of a certain product. Also, marketing margins can somehow be referred or also called as the farm to retail price spread. However, though both are interlinked with each other, meron pa rin silang differences. So, both of them are the difference between a product paid by the consumers and obtained by the producers. However, the difference is that in farm retail price spread, this refers to the difference between the retail price and the farm value of the product. While in marketing margin, this is the difference between the sales of a given product and the cost of the product being sold. Also, in farm retail price spread, this refers to the payment of all costs involved after the product has left the farm, while the marketing margin refers to the profit made under a given market condition. So say for instance, nag-aangkat ako ng gulay and binibenta ito to public market. So yung inaangkatan ko or yung kinukuhanan ko ng supply ko ng gulay, yun yung farm and I am the retailer. So in farm retail price spread, yung calculation ng price charge dito is nag-i-evolve lang sa akin and doon sa kinukuhanan ko ng products. No more other branching markets includes. From the word itself, farm to retail price spread. While sa marketing margin naman, this refers to the calculation sa lahat ng cost or expenses na naggastos from the marketing processes doon sa product. So ano ba yung marketing processes? Of course, doon na yung from the transportation of the products, sa pagpuproduce ng product, sa pag-a-advertise ng product into the public, and so on and so forth. Anything aspects that involves marketing. So yung marketing margins, lahat ng expenses na naggamit doon during the whole marketing processes is nako-compute or kino-compute or sa marketing margins. So, para hindi tayo malito kung ano nga ba talaga yung differences ng dalawa, marketing margin, it involves yung mga products na process na or kinikreate na. Like for example, yung mga canned goods na makikita natin sa groceries. Kasi dumaan na yan ng processing, so meron ng bayad dyan for the machinery and anything para mag-create na yung product na yon. While sa farm retail price spread naman, yung mga products or goods na involved dito is yung mga pangunahin talagang or yung mga raw materials ng mga processed products na makikita natin ngayon in the market. For example, yung mga nagpo-produce ng mga kahoy na inaangkatan naman ng mga furniture industry sa pagkikreate nila ng products nila. And then yung mga fish pan na inaangkatan ng mga nagbebenta ng dried fish ba dyan or marinated fish or kung ano-anong mga products na makikreate nila out of the raw materials na comply nila. So yun yung differences ng farm retail price spread and the marketing margin. So, why is there a need to study or analyze marketing margins? Anong importansya na bakit siya kailangan i-analyze? So, in business world or business industries or yung mga organizations, analyzing marketing margin is very important because this will show the relative importance of the marketing costs in order to reveal real differences between and among market, to allow further market integrations. So, meron na namang marketing cost. So, ano yung marketing cost? We already defined the marketing price spread and the marketing margins. Marketing cost na naman. First, to all expenses that the company or the organization makes to market and sell its products, services, and develop and promotes its brand. So, yung marketing cost, ito na yung lahat-lahat ng nagastos from the creation of the product until natapos nila yung product na yun. So, there are three distinct types of marketing cost. We have direct cost, operating cost, and the physical losses. So, sa direct cost, it involves the direct marketing functions such as transportation or yung pagta-transport ng products from one place to another, and the assembly or the handling or storing processes, yung pagsistore ng mga products or raw materials, pwede din. And also, the taxes na pinipaid ng isang business or isang organization sa governments or the business tax. Operating cost, from the word itself, operating costs, so therefore, this refers to the capital or yung investment money na nire-risk or binibigay ng isang kumpanya or isang business from the start creation of their products. Or in other words, in simplest term, we can say that operating cost is yung puhunan ng isang kumpanya or isang business sa paggawa ng certain products na i-introduce nila sa consumers. The losses or the damages of the products, of course, hindi naman talaga naiiwasan yun. So, this usually takes place during the transportation of the products and during the creation or the storing of the products. So, those are the three marketing costs na pinaglalaanan ng isang business or isang kumpanya during the whole marketing processes. Now, let's move on to the concepts of marketing costs and margins, or the principle of marketing cost and margin. So, first, this reveal how efficient pricing in domestic market is. This also gives an indication of the importance of transaction costs facing traders, farmers, and the intermediaries. And lastly, this helps in identifying and solving bottleneck, thus assist in reducing marketing costs. In business world, bottleneck is defined as the setbacks or obstacles that slows or delays a process. So tingnan nyo, observe nyo yung bottle. It's like an idiomatic expression na ginamit yung leeg ng bottle kasi nga 'di ba? When you put something inside the bottle, dito sa narrow part niya or sa leeg ng bottle is parang nagsa-stuck up or nagsuslow down yung kung ano man yung ilalagay nyo doon sa loob ng bottle because it's narrow. So same as in business industry, yung bottleneck is nagre-refer sa circumstances or sa situation na nagpapa-slow down ng process or ng operation ng business na yon. An example of a bottleneck situation in a certain business is that, for example, yung kinukuhanan mo ng raw materials para sa products mo is tumaas yung presyo. So with that, maaapektuhan yung common or yung usual na operation nyo kasi nga tumaas yung presyo. So with that, nagka-problema. So that is considered as the bottleneck. So, yung concept daw ng marketing cost and margin is tumutulong na ma-identify yung mga bottleneck situation sa isang organization or sa isang business. So, how? Paano? Of course, di ba, we are going to calculate the marketing cost and the marketing margins. So, with that, magre-reflect doon sa calculation nyo kung tumaas or bumaba ba sa usual na expenses na ginagastos ng kumpanya nyo. So, with that, if ever man na may na tumaas, so madidetect na, there is something wrong going on. So, bottleneck na yon. So, with that, dahil na-identify siya, so yung kumpanya is makaka-create ng mitigation or ng way para ma-mitigate yung problem na nag-arise na yon. So that is the concept of marketing cost and margin all about. Now let's proceed to the marketing chains or channels. So what is marketing chains or channels? So this refers to the ways that the goods and services are made available for the consumption of the consumers or available in the market. Also, this refers to the series of interdependent marketing institutions. For example, or the common marketing chain and channel is from the producer to retailers or yung mga middlemen until it reaches to the consumers. So ito yung common na chains or channels na ma-observe natin sa market. However, agricultural marketing flow chain has a more complex chain. It starts from the farm gate, loading and storage inventory, then it undergoes food transformation, either cleaning and the packaging of the products, and then the manufacturing and the transformation or the wholesale, and finally the transport or the storage or the distribution of the products. Either it can be acquired by the retailers or exporters until it reaches the final destination, which are the primary consumers, which is tayo na, yung mga taong nagko-consume ng product na kine-create nila. So from this agricultural marketing flow or the flow chart of marketing commodities, we can trace we can identify the farmer share, total gross margins, and the total markups in percent. So farmer share. What is farmer share? So this refers to the proportion of farm value in the retail price of a food or item purchased at the retail store. So we can get the farmer share by simply following the formula of farmer share in percent is equals to farm gate price divided by retail price times 100. So first, what is farm gate price? So this refers to the total expenses spent before the product exits the farm. So that is the farm gate price. Yung total na nagastos mo doon sa pagpapalaki ng product na yan. While the retail price refers to the customers pay to the final product that is sold. So to be able to get the farmer's share, just simply follow the formula. Next is the total gross margin. So this refers to the profitability measures that assesses whether or not a company is able to run its operation efficiency and generate enough profit. So that is total gross margin. So to be able to get that, just simply follow the formula of which total gross margin in percent is equals to retail price minus the farm gate price divided by retail price times 100. Another is the total markup. So total markup formula calculates the amount or percentage of profits derived by the company over the cost price of the products. So to get the total markup, just follow the formula of total markup in percent equals retail price minus farm gate price divided by farm gate price times 100. So to be able to get those three aspects, just simply follow this formula. Anyway, the retail price and the farm gate price, there is another formula for that. So you still have to identify the farm gate price and the retail price muna. So paano ba makukuha yung farm gate price? Of course, kailangan mong i-total or isum lahat ng mga expenses mo na nagastos bago mo maibenta yung product mo doon sa mga retailers. So I think there is no need for me to further elaborate this one kasi if you just know how to follow this formula, which is I know na alam po naman kung paano nyo i-follow, so therefore you can easily derive doon sa kung ano man yung hinihingi. So to end this up, I have prepared here a take-home exercises for you guys para naman matest kung you did really listen and kung marunong talaga kayong mag-follow nung formula. So this is it. So screenshots nyo na lang and yun, I will be collecting your answers after this report. So, thank you.
Let the game begin.
Green light. Red light. Green light. Red light. 피었습니다. Green light. Red light. Green light. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. 무궁화 꽃이 피었습니다. Green light. Red light. Green light.
Thank you for playing with us, Eduard, Noor, Anna, and Lamarck. Discussion ends here. Thank you for listening and for your cooperation. Good work, everyone. Keep safe. Thank you.